The drum is used across cultures as a way to imitate the beating heart. The drum among the natives is even called the heart of Mother Earth. And by beating the drums, we invoke the heart energy within ourselves, which is the energy of courage in the face of all odds. The time we're living in, this time, and maybe every time of history, has been plagued by fear. And what I've been seeing a lot in my practice lately is people who are afraid for themselves or others, people who are afraid of each other. And these each individuals are coming in with fears that seem to follow a certain pattern that seems to match their own experience, their own life experience. And so even though we are all experiencing the same reality, each individual is experiencing fear in a different way. And I wanted to have a conversation about how fear may come about in our body and came about in our being. This experience that I had recently, where I received a phone call which sent me into a spiral around my own safety, my well-being, the safety well-being of my family, and the worthiness or value of our work. And I went through this experience feeling completely untethered with anything that I've ever cultivated, completely lost, angry, insecure, fearful, and powerless. And as I went through this experience and found my way back, it was as if at each point I was being shown, oh, this is the way to find your way back. I wanted to share some of those experiences. First, I wanted to talk about how we experience fear. In an environment of fear as we're in, fear will infect us with the level of weakness, emotional weakness we experience inherently. I see individuals who have a root level disturbance, root chakra disturbance. These are people who often have existential fears, insecurity about money, insecurity about their safety, insecurity about their household and their well-being or their health. The world feels hostile for them. There are also people out there who are being directly affected. They might also be feeling this root level fear, wondering if they can trust their government or their neighbors or their colleagues. And so that's another insecurity. But when there's a fear also involving one other, when you're suspicious about your community or suspicious about your friends, your partners, you're fearful, do they like you enough, or they care for you enough? These fears are relational fears, and these are affecting through our sacral chakra, which is the second chakra, is about interpersonal and intimate relationship, our sense of connection and belonging to each other. The third comes from a sense of injustice, right and wrong, fair and unfair. And this fear arises out of the solar chakra. This chakra, also called the Manipur or the city of jewels, is the chakra of fire. And fire is about discernment. It's about healthy boundaries and right and wrong and righteousness within ourselves. And so if you're feeling the fear of powerlessness, helplessness, and the feeling of injustice that cannot be overcome, your fear is coming out of the solar plexus. And so you're feeling angry, upset, irritated, frustrated, and powerless. That powerlessness goes into the heart. And in the heart is the fear of, I am not enough. We are not enough. This is not enough. That protest was not enough. This boycott is not enough. That is not enough. This not enoughness that we feel outside, we also feel inside. This is an inherent fear of not having enough value, enough worth, or having enough something to say, which is a more of a representation of not enough love within ourselves, not enough faith within ourselves. And finally is of the throat. And the throat chakra has to do with I'm not good enough, that I can't do enough, that I'm not a very good drummer, that I'm not a very good singer, that I'm not a very good speaker, that I'm not a very good doctor, I am not a very good mother. And these vocational fears is what tells us not having any beliefs in our ability, which come from the throat chakra. When we're in an environment of fear, fear infects us through one of these vulnerabilities, and some of us have multiple vulnerabilities, and sometimes circumstances create our vulnerabilities. I wanted to talk a little bit about how we find our way back. If your fear is of the root level, of your sense of belonging and your safety in the world, connect with people and resources who will help you feel your sense of belonging. These might be your loved ones, your confidants, people who make you feel safe and protected. These might be your community leaders, your lawyers, or whoever make you feel safe and secure about your position, your place in the world. Another way to cultivate root level security is to feel secure in your relationship to your spirit. And so have a spiritual practice makes you connected with your true self. For me, it is coming out in nature, singing and feeling the beauty encompass and absorb me into it, become part of nature. And this meditation helps me a lot to feel my sense of belonging and empowerment through nature. Second is the sacral chakra, which is about relationship. And in this chakra about relationship, we have to think community. Go out and be with beloved friends who see you, who understand you, who reflect your best interest, and who can remind you of who you really are, your lighter self, your happier self, your secure self. Play with these friends. Playfulness is the best way to cure anxiety. Go have an adventure, cook some food, be in community. In this way, feel the power, the joy, and the robustness of these relationships despite all the environment of fear. Then come to your solar, where you feel your injustice, unfairness, anger, and irritability. Here, the experience needs to be of cultivating what it is that means the most to you. Say what means the most to you. Do what means the most to you. If what means the most to you to be a mother, be a mother. Create a loving, fearless environment for your children. If it means for you to be a grandmother, be a loving elder to your family. If it means to you to be a friend, look for opportunities where you can be a good friend and be of service to people. If it means for you to be an activist, go do that, right? Take action that has the most meaning to you, even if it is the smallest action and it's very personal and it has nothing to do with the world. If it has meaning to you, the feedback to you would be that I'm doing something that has meaning despite the odds, despite all the distraction, despite all of the attempts to take my attention and my energy away from me. Lastly, it's about the heart. When you do something that has meaning and you keep doing it in a way that you're interested and cultivate mastery in it, that naturally start to cultivate your belief in that thing. Cultivate your belief if you want to be a good mother. Cultivate your belief if you want to be a good preacher. Cultivate a belief in yourself if you want to be a good yogi. Whatever it is, whatever is your heart's calling. It's not about the times. It's about your heart and your heart's calling. Because if we all do what is our heart's calling, and we all support each other in doing what is each other's heart's calling, what you'll find is you have a happy community and everybody that sees each other's and values each other and respects each other. And so there will be love and respect and naturally faith in the community, and the heart will naturally feel courage. And finally, about my talents. Am I good enough? Right? It doesn't really matter if you're good enough. Buddha wasn't good enough to fix the world, and Christ wasn't good enough to fix the world. You see, it is the people who carry them on their shoulders, or carry any wisdom on their shoulders and apply it through their heart into their lives. These people make the world a better place. And so, what's good enough, right? What's good enough is your best. And so, any wisdom, any joy, any excitement, any motivation, any calling that you carry around on your shoulder, it doesn't have to be Buddha or Christ. It might just be your own calling. It's not about if you're good enough to do it. It's about, do you love yourself enough to enjoy the experience of doing it? If you can love yourself enough to enjoy the experience of doing it, then doesn't matter, because you're making the world a better place, because you're contributing as much as anyone can contribute, which is their best. So this has been my lesson about working through fear. And every day I'm checking in at which level my fear is. And I'm choosing the actions to counteract that level. If I'm afraid about my well-being, I'm doing something that makes me feel well. If I'm afraid about my relationships, I'm reaching out and having an honest conversation so I can feel intimacy and closeness in those relationships. If I'm afraid about the injustice and unfairness in the world, I'm doing my part to bring more fairness and joy into my own life and be fair and just in the lives of others. If I'm afraid that I'm not good enough, then I'm doing something that makes me have faith in myself, which is something like expressing love to someone, showing my care for someone, showing my, giving something that is unselfish, that is generative for a relationship. And in turn, this makes me love myself more. And that's what I'm doing for my heart. And if I'm feeling that, oh, my talent, my gifts are not good enough, what I have to say is not good enough, or right enough, or articulate enough, or beautiful enough, if I'm feeling like that, I'm telling myself I love myself, and I'm doing it anyways.